Namaste. It's beautiful to reflect on all the summer routines. You feel cool just listening to all this talk of coconut and milk. And I was, as Shunyadi and Dr. Mandar was speaking, I was reflecting on 2 points. One is summers that I had spent in India. And I lived in a place where there were only a couple of air-conditioned rooms you could go to. And that didn't work for me. So I remember thinking about how do you stay cool in the middle of the day? And there were 2 things that used to really strike me. One was to sit somewhere very, in a shaded garden, just as Shunyadi was explaining about sitting with the plants, the leaves, the fragrant flowers, was amazingly cooling. And the second point that I discovered for myself was about keeping very still. It's amazing how, like lots of kind of even jittery movements, lots of just jumping around, changing position. Because you would start sweating so immediately, you could see the correlation. I remember at the height of summer, we became very good at walking without moving around much, just staying very quiet. But really the key to that was staying very quiet inside. And I think both Shunyaji and Dr. Mandar were speaking about the importance of keeping the thoughts very cool and sweet and harmonious and not creating agitation in you. And so as they were speaking, I was recalling when I lived in India, I was studying Indian devotional singing. And I had a teacher who was, not a performer, just somebody who loved to sweeten his own life and his dreams even with these beautiful devotional songs. And his very favorite song that he would often sing when he felt like he was personally facing something that would create a lot of agitation inside. And because he was spiritually ripe enough to know that all that internal agitation isn't a solution, or it's something that should be put to rest, just as if you broke out in a red rash, you would go, okay, this is something to take care of. So this song was about this poet saint who wrote it said, try to always reflect on calm, pleasing thoughts and know that there is a force in this universe who sees you, who loves you, who's looking out for you. That we become agitated sometimes when we feel like we're alone. There's nobody else, nobody to turn to. That we feel sometimes, oh, my problems have been overlooked, or nobody sees me, nobody hears me. That frustration of feeling like I'm calling out, but there's no response from the world. So to reflect on, yes, there is someone who is watching you all the time. And the name he gives for this, he says it's the Pati Lakshmi. There's a goddess of, we call it this power of auspiciousness, of abundance. And so her Lord is always looking out for you. Interestingly, Dr. Mandar was speaking about the coconut, and in the Vedic tradition we call it Shrifal, or the fruit, which is the embodiment of this power of abundance. So the poet saint says, just sit, be content with whatever is going on in your life. Just sit and observe instead of fighting with it. And try to accept your circumstances, knowing that there is a greater power who's looking out for you. And that, he says, when you stop fighting, that power will be there to show there's a way forward. A door is opened. Avadine bhave harinam ghesi. Avadine bhave harinam ghesi. तुझे चिंतत्या से सर्वा है, तुझे चिंतत्या से सर्वा है. नको खेद करू कोणी त्या गोष्टीचा, नको खेद करू कोणी त्या गोष्टीचा. पति लक्ष्मीचा जानता है, पति लक्ष्मीचा जानता है. जैसी स्थितियाँ है तैसा परिराह है, जैसी स्थितियाँ है तैसा परिराह है. कौतुक तुपा है संचिताचे, कौतुक तुपा है संचिताचे. एका जनार्दने भोग प्रारब्धाचा, एका जनार्दने भोग प्रारब्धाचा. हरी कृपे त्याचा नाश झाला, हरी कृपे त्याचा नाश झाला. अवधीने भावे हरिनाम घेसी, अवधीने भावे हरिनाम घेसी.
So beautiful.